Good evening, one and all. It is Sunday, it's the end of the week. It is time that we jump into some more good old Warframe. Welcome everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world. It is still rather uncomfortably hot here in the UK. What with our lack of AC and our increasing as ever humidity, it rained earlier. Not enough to take the heat away, just enough to increase the humidity. How very nice of it, but all the same. That aside, we've still got Warframe here that we can indulge in, and indulge we shall for today. Today, I realised that I basically never properly looked at the weapons introduced with Tekra Encore. So that was Riot 848, the EFV-8 Mars, the Joule Physis, the EFV-5 Jupiter, and the Purgator 1. I just kind of didn't really pay much attention to them. I had a little bit of a look, but not enough of a look to have even committed it to memory, to be quite honest with you. So that is where the focus is here today. We have also got the usual 75 platter raffle running here on stream. We have got a hype bonus giveaway from Community Challenge with the channel points. Just about ready to complete that. Oh, never mind, it is complete. There it is. By the looks of it, that is entirely complete. Y'all have got a free hype bonus giveaway today. Absolutely. We'll be doing that a little bit into the stream. I'm not going to do this right that second because, well, let's face it, most people still haven't had the opportunity to arrive on stream yet. I know the way Twitch notifications work, and I also know that a lot of you are front-loading the points right at the moment of the start of the stream. So, to be fair to the community, to be fair to those who aren't here right on the very first minute, we are going to run that in a little moment, not like right this moment. Yeah, all of 38 viewers, great odds to win, exactly, yeah, it would just be a little bit ridiculous right this second. But I do see it is there, it is absolutely earned, y'all can enjoy that. And of course, if we do hit any hype train levels today, that will just roll out even more of those. As for the 75 platter raffle, that is a double raffle today because of the power cut issue on Wednesday, so you've got double chances to win on that as well. Of course, make sure you grab your ticket. But all of those details aside, in terms of starting on where we're going to have a look at items today, I think the first one to have a look at will be, I'm just going to go top of the list, Riot 848, which, if I recall correctly, I did not recall correctly. There it is. Riot 848. Yeah, I looked at the stats and didn't even use the gun. It's not even mastered. Let's maybe sort that out first, I suppose. Saying in the text box here, never stop fighting, never run out of ammo. Temple signature machine pistol was modified by Albert Contratti.
Back to 1999.
Bullets back into the magazine. How curious. Zellian, thank you very much for continuing support here on the channel. You're up onto 6 months. You got that lovely golden badge next to your name. Zellian, cheers for that. Yes, indeed. Alright, so let's see. This is a weird one. Ammo maximum? Nil. Ammo from pickups? Nil. Because it does neither of those things. It instead fires its magazine and then brings the magazine back, which is certainly a weird one. It means it has functionally unlimited maximum ammo. Functionally. So, yeah, you could just keep going. Jade saying, Riot's most unique yet disappointing out of them all. Well, we'll see how that all comes together, I suppose, yeah. We'll see how it all comes together. First things first, though, I do need to actually slap some modding in to make it worthwhile. And looking at the stats here, this thing does like to be a bit of an automatic firing weapon, doesn't it? Yeah. Innate blast entirely on the radial attack, innate puncture on the direct hit. Some nice critical stats to work with. Do not ignore those. Merciless gunfight new. Not that new, is it? I mean, yeah. It's not like it came out recently, but not like last week or so. Let's see, what was the actual release date on it? Yeah, it was 13th of December last year, so it's been out for 6 months. Yeah. Were Sculpture Guns Encore based on 99? Encore. So these came out with Temple, and the second round of Proto Frames with the code weapons, all that lot. It's the second round of stuff. That's what we're looking at here. So let's get some upgrades on here. Yeah, sure, take the plat. Let's get some upgrades onto this. I am thinking good old... let's... Thinking about how I'm going to be leveling this in just a second. Most of these actually aren't that helpful to me. I'll be very honest with you. So I will figure out more on what I want to do with it in a moment. For now, let's just slap on a good old Merciless. Can't go too wrong with that, I guess. Gonna put on Galvanized Diffusion, because that's not going to be triggering whilst I'm getting started here. Let's put on a Hornet Strike. Let's put on a Primed Heat Charge. Let's get some crits up in this thing. There's our critical damage, and there is our Creeping Bullseye, which gives us some 78% crit chance for a 5.8 times crit damage multiplier, which is pretty nifty. But also, we're already completely out of capacity, and 3 mod slots yet to fill. That does not feel good. Not in the slightest. So yeah, I'm going to need to get that leveled as quick as I can. I've got an Affinity Booster ready to go. However, I'm going to make that even quicker with a little upgrade as well. Let's go sort that. Switch that back off of public. We don't need that right now. Pop into Strata Relay. Let's go to the number 4 one this time. Let's go to the True Master font. There we are. 1 Affinity Blessing. There we go. And we're gone. So I'm asking, not leveling all 3 slots at once? No, not leveling all 3 slots at once, because I'm going to see if I can do a cheeky leveling of it via the Planes method again. See how well that goes for me. So, because I can stay in the Arcwing, I don't need to worry about my frame setup, so I could just go straight down to Cetus. Night ends in 2 minutes, that'll be fine for us. Once I've got this leveled the first time, let's do. Once I've leveled it twice, then we'll do the hype bonus giveaway.
To make a whole year.
Yo, Caljade, thank you very much for the 11 a month resub there. Much appreciated. Cheers, Caljade. In fact, it looks like if someone else were to sub right now, we'd hit a hype train. We could combine them together. Or is that going to time out? I think that's just timed out. That's a worry. So yeah, I'll level this twice, or if we get a hype train sooner. Don't actually want to speak to Konzu, just using it as a convenient teleport. Here we go. Pop that there. Okay, so this should be high enough. Wow, the zoom on this gun is basically nil. Okay. That is, Well, at least it does what I need it to. They all stationary? Yep. 1, 2, 3. Kind of confused as to how that napalm took no damage at first, but we're all good now. Where is the Xmas? I can't see them. Ah. That worked. And make sure they're not moving. That's the Xmas. Want to grab them last. Just make sure. Yep. Got our stealth bonus. Cool. Nearly there. We're at 24. And look for our Xmas. There they are. One more will do it. Heavy gunner. Where's the Xmas? Darn. Oh, there they are. Splendid. Alright, cool. For a gun that's not really designed to do this kind of thing, just over 2 minutes. I'll take that. No zoom needed. So if you're wondering why this gives so much affinity, first of all, I do have both the affinity blessing and affinity booster, so that's giving me double, that's giving me 25%, they don't add together, they multiply, so I'm at 2.5 times normal affinity, which means that happened, well, 2.5 times quicker than it should be. Does it have to be itself? No, but it means you've got an invisibility available to you, if you need to use it. The main thing here is that we are staying high enough up above the enemies that they simply don't turn on their AI. If they don't turn on their AI, then they can't notice you. If they can't notice you, they can't be alerted. If they can't be alerted, you get stealth kills. It is definitely cheesing the ever-loving hell out of the system there. The other reason this works is because even though it's not just stealth kills, we're also killing Xmas units regularly and quickly, and that's because they have near guaranteed spawns on the plains of Eidolon in those particular areas. So once you learn where you're looking, you can go in, get your shots in, get the XP, move on to the next spot. Xmas give so much more affinity than normal units. On top of all the modifiers, it's absolutely bonkers. When you consider with an affinity bonus 2.5 times, and then a stealth affinity bonus of 6 times, because it's 500% extra, that is 6 by 2.5, that is 15 times affinity. And I killed, how many units there? 13 units, I think. 6 of those would have been, no, more than 6, I think I only killed like 5 Xmas. There was the first camp, second camp, over by the lake, by the sea, second one by the sea. Yeah, 5 Xmas kills. 5 Xmas kills, and with them rated at, again I said 15 times, that's effectively 75 Xmas worth in those 2 minutes. That's how it adds up. Are we even 3 days away? Absolutely. Alright then. So let's give this a quick Formarino, do that again, and then we'll do that hype bonus giveaway y'all unlocked. If anyone's not arrived by then for it, well, that's kind of on them at that point. I'm not going to put any upgrade into this right now, I'm just forming it in a sensible enough manner, and then I can have a look as to what upgrades I do want. We had stream on launch day? Absolutely. Bugs included. Love the game, but it is going to be bugs included. No one's disputing that. Alright then, so tigers have spawned in. Stealth bonus is locked in. There we go. Want to not lose track of where I'm at. Never mind, lost track of where I'm at. There's where I want to be. I don't see the Xmas for this one. Hold on. No, this Xmas is not spawned. That's unfortunate. But that one definitely has. Give it a couple seconds. There we go. Where's the Xmas? There they are. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Not fully ranked because we didn't have the extra Xmas at a previous site. Gonna need to get that here. Where are you at? Where is it? Hold on. I don't see the Xmas for this one either. Nope. 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 Nope, didn't spawn. Alright, that's unfortunate. There we go. $29? Damn it. There we go. Basic units did the trick. There we are. Lovely stuff. Alright. How far do you need to be for the AI to just be off? This moving? Well, the thing is, if you get close enough they start moving, it's already too late. You need them to never start moving. So they spawn in, but don't actually finish spawning is the idea. The distance at which they begin is longer than the distance at which they activate, but once they've activated, you've ruined it. Move on to a new group. If you have a one-shot kill sniper, you can get away with it. Excuse me. Because you can hit them hard enough that they never even realize anything's happening. But if you miss, you alert them in any kind of way, you absolutely have to move on. And so if you've got an automatic weapon like that, it's just no bueno. You've just got to give up and move on to the next group at that point. So lots of height is for the best. And as you saw there, it doesn't really need to be accurate so long as you do land the kill. You go on non-steel path, they'll have basically no hit points compared to even a reasonable setup, so it should be fine. Unless your accuracy, weapon accuracy is absolutely bunk, in which case it doesn't work for the method at all. It is just that. That also works for leveling up the Archwing, but it doesn't work for leveling up the Warframe that way. To level up the Warframe, you need to get out of the Archwing. And so for that, you'd want to go with no melee equipped so that you can do a melee swipe to just exit on the spot. And then you want to aim glide either whilst the projectile is in flight or just shoot whilst aim gliding. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. If the weapon can't hit at that range, it's just not going to work. So melees are right out. Alright, all that aside, ads are about to start. No, let's not do that. Let's snooze those because we're about to do a giveaway. Let's see, what are we going to do this time? We are going to do a 7-day booster. Okie dokie. That is a little bit interesting. Let's open up the giveaway for this one. There it is. 7-day booster, and you'll get to pick which of the 7-day boosters you get. Absolutely. Let's make sure this is all correctly set up. Yep, looks all good to me. All right, giveaway is started. So ! Hype me in the chat if you're feeling a little bit hyped enough for a chance to win a 7-day booster. The winner will get to pick what booster they receive. Obviously, you need to be here for this one, so don't type the command and run off into the merry distance. You have to do it. We're custom bot now? Not quite, Cosmo. Not quite. This is just the built-in at the moment for the second bot interface. Let's actually get this up on screen. There you go. Y'all can see the interface. The peeps are rolling in. Kelton, thank you for the pop. Only a few seconds left on this. Make sure you do get in there. All these names of people looking to be hopeful. If there was a way to sort this by most recent at the top, I would, but it's simply not there as far as I've looked around, found it. Yeah, I could sort by total tickets, but that doesn't help me out. Alright, there we go. We have our winner. Oh, they've claimed it straight away. Crescendo Fury. Right on the money on that one, getting it straight away. You are paying attention. As a mod should, I suppose. The bot has chosen a mod this time. Crescendo, congratulations. So where am I sending it and what booster are you claiming? Always moderators? Every time. Except when it isn't the moderators. Every time a moderator wins, it's a moderator who won. It's wild that, isn't it? Crescendo, I need to know what username am I sending what booster over to. Because you can take your pick of 7-dayer. The system likes mods more than raffle. The mods tend to be more active, and the raffle allows people to claim a ticket and run away, which is going to be a bias in favor of mods by sheer statistics alone, Zomnia. Also, we have very few draws so far, but that's just how it goes. Crescendo, this is not the time to go running away. Where you get your account number. Alright, you know what, Crescendo? You've got a Twitch DM from myself, because then you can respond to that with the deets. If you haven't actually got your details to hand there, somehow, it's just an in-game name, but you'll have to send it on the DM, and we'll sort that later now then. We'll sort that later. Alright. So the riot I have slapped 2 former into. Or rather, I've slapped 1 former, I can slap another into it now, so let's give us some more capacity here. Looking at it though, because it comes only with that 1 polarity, it's probably going to want even more. These are demanding mods these days. Because if I slap a lethal torrent now, bam, we're already out of capacity to do anything more. Does not feel great in that regard. Okay. Now, the question is, what direction do I want to actually take this into? No, you don't actually need the number code on the hash. So, like, looking at my account here, it would just be the Kengineer. If you include the number, it makes certain that I can check the profile is correct. But if you don't include the number, it's not the end of the world. It just means if I send it to the user, and it turns out your name was actually the _ user, well, that's on you for sending me the wrong details. I send it to the account I get told to send it to. That's former I have makes you jealous? Oh, don't be jealous, be envious. Alright, well, that is the community challenge bit done. I suppose I should probably mark that as complete. Boop. And is there an easy redo button? Of course not. Why would there be? So, yo, what am I hearing there? I'm just typing at a moment. How far are we away from the end of the month? 8 days away. So I'll put 9 to be certain it covers it. There we go. That's the new one created in Mirrorlab. Thank you very much for the gifted subs there. That's gone out to Hatari Hell, to Fininator, to Palmer Farmer, to Command Line Fox, to Skin Dog. Mirrorlab, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs out to the community. Much appreciated. I hope you're doing well there. Cheers indeed. Alright. What direction do I want to take this one? Because, I mean, the unique trait is unique and all, but it doesn't actually do much of anything. Reloads bullets back into the pistol and causes explosions. The explosions really are small. 1.5 meter radius. It is pretty much a, oh, have you not killed them yet? Well, I guess we'll try again. It is a bigger portion of damage, but it does also have pretty significant fall off for such a small range. So unless the shots are on the enemy, it's just not going to matter. It says the punch through is 0 and locked there, but that requires testing as well. So, what direction will I end up going on this? I'll also need to verify whether or not good old galvanized shot works with it properly. No build consequences, no galvanized shot from the looks of it. Maybe, maybe not. It is what feels like a travel time projectile. Again, needs testing. So that could make the damage from this side explode up in power. And then you don't need to wait for the reload to do the kill. Prime Fulmination for Bigger Boom, it's not going to make much of a difference. So if I swap this over here, you'll see we go from 1.5 to 2.16. 66 centimeter increase. Is not a lot of increase. Boy howdy, I do wish I could hit something 2 feet further away. That is not an increase. If you consider... Yeah, if you consider, for example, D&D mechanics, that's taking you from a 5-foot reach to a 7-foot reach, which a DM would round down to 5. Okay, 5 foot to... Yeah, 5 foot, 7 foot, yeah. It's just a whole load of nothing on that one. So I think all of the checking would be into what power can be done out of this. This is also a backup, I suppose, but if you're waiting on that, you're having to entirely mag dump to get a kill, and that doesn't feel so great. That doesn't feel so great. AoE Forever Micro? Yeah. It's AoE in that if you slightly miss the enemy, you can still hit something with it, and if you have a grouping tool, then it can be good. And I think that might be what this comes down to, is grouping tool, mag dump, explosion. That might be one of the bigger ways of utilizing this weapon. So we'll see how that all comes together. Also, Riven Disposition in the absolute gutter. So yeah. Meljo saying the wiki also mentions a bullet maximum, as in how many can be embedded at a time, automatically exploding the oldest ones when surpassed. Oh D. Oh D frickin' E. Okay. Let's look this up. Riot 848. How much is the maximum coins to wiki? A maximum of 32 rounds can be embedded at any given time. Additional rounds will cause the earliest rounds to automatically detonate and fly back without reloading the gun. Okay, so again, we functionally just have infinite ammo. If it fakes the reload, it is straight up just an infinite ammo gun where you detonate the bullets when you reload. That's what it is. Also doesn't inflict self-stagger according to the wiki, but that I can test as well. Second lowest line of characteristic. Oh yeah, that's what you meant. On the wiki, yeah. Let's see how that all comes together. So, at that point, it's saying then that if you have a magazine increase, granted that the biggest magazine increases I can see is plus 95% there. Do we get any more here? No. Well, if we can only get 95% from these two, then surely any further magazine increase would have to be from a decree. So it's only going to matter. Only going to matter if you run a magazine increasing decree. Am I looking at that correctly? Because anything less, you'll have to detonate them to reload before you hit 32. That's pretty much a moot point. Plus, do you really want to be running magazine increase? Do you really? Sure, you get more of an explosion, but you could also just fire again. Would multi-shot contribute? Oh, true. Oh god, if multi-shot... Oh. Well, if multi-shot interacts with it, then it will trigger off very rapidly, won't it? Because multi-shot just here, it's 230%, 60%, it's 290% on top of the base 1. That would be 3.9. Yikes. More specific, true, any ammo efficiency will be relevant as well. Would you want to use Arcane Pistolier with this? I don't think... Okay, yeah. So, fair enough. I was thinking very much of shots, not multi-shots, but you're very right. Multi-shots are, in fact, shots for a lot of these kind of triggers. If nothing, that just further reinforces that the gimmick is a very literal gimmick. Jet say it means you'll get extra explosions while firing. Yeah. having the explosions happen sooner in that regard can be a benefit. Absolutely. With this current setup here, I've got no fire rate bonus for my companion at the moment, I think. Let me double check that, actually. Nope, tell a lie. Companion is, in fact, giving us a fire rate bonus. That's why the Arsenal's crying. So the Arsenal shows actually a 16 fire rate with 16 magazine. So we'd launch it all within a second. Yeah, it's a battery weapon, but with a fixed reload time. The fact that this is blast as well, the blast base of it is not going to be that interesting because it's only a 26% status chance. You could lean into it with a couple 60-60 mods. That'd be 120% bonus. That's going to put this up to 55-ish% status chance, which still isn't that amazing. I don't care if it's fully blast. 55% is still 55%. Mirror Basket, if you have a slower fire rate and high magazine, can you shoot forever? No, because it doesn't actually reload if it times out. Oh, sorry, if it auto detonates a bullet. So the reload and explosion are completely separate. The game just lies about them being related. You don't actually reload the bullet into the gun. You just make some animation that looks like the bullet would reload into the gun. But when you reload, you're just reloading from an infinite magazine, functionally. Whilst triggering any detonations remaining to detonate. Bit of a cheeky gimmick. There you go. I mean, I can try a 60-60 blast approach with it at some point. Judging by the direction of ways this can go, I think slapping in another 2 V polarities is going to be safe enough. Yeah, let's go for 2 more Vs and take it from there. I will say that so far, the gimmick... Oh, inbox message. We have a gift from a Mirrorlay. What have we got here? 10 Omniformer bundles. Good lord. Was I using an inferior former? I do apologise. Okay, I shall Omniformer the gun then, Mirrorlay. Thank you very much. I will stop thinking about the polarities. Cheers for that. Good lord. 30 Omniformer. That'll do the trick.
Got something. You come back again soon.
There's a 10 times bundle? There's not a 10 times bundle, Zom. That's 10 bundles. Yeah. It's like when we had the 50 times relic pack. It wasn't a 50 relic pack. It was 50 packs of relics. Mirrorlay just be like this. I think I'm high enough up. Yep. Is it me or did I reload too soon for the bullets to hit? Oh god, I think I am. If you reload too soon, the bullets don't get there. The gimmick is a negative. Oh no. Okay. That is certainly a design of all time. So the gimmick is real. And it is real problematic in that regard. Where's the Xmas? right there. I genuinely cannot see them. Oh, there they are. Got it. Shit, I got spotted by the turret. Alright, let's get out of that spot. That's gonna spot me. I don't see other things to regain the stealth off of though. Fuck it, I'll just shoot this Xmas and move on. One, two, three. That's there, Rio done. Where's the Xmas? That's a flag. That's Iridite. Oh god, the zoom on this gun is so terrible, I can barely see anything. Where Xmas? Nope, that's not it either. Alright, I'm just gonna move on. If it's there, it lives. There's the Xmas on this one. A little bit more to level it up. You know what? Let's just use the basic enemies. That might be enough, actually. A little bit more. Little bit more. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, that was enough. What's going on? Leveling the gun. Do I have Affinity Blessing? Yes. There we go. Alrighty, let's slap a former into this real quick. There we are. I've just noticed this also comes with no polarity on the Exla slot. God damn, DE, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us? Alright, let's get that leveled again. Hopefully this time the Xmas will actually spawn as desired. It's that one under the awning at like the second camp to the left. Screws at me. That's 2 kills. 3. The Xmas, want to leave them for the last. Four. And then the Xmas. There we go. Fly over here. Don't want to be seen. There we go. 1, 2, 3. That jade sticks out very easily. I'm getting the hang of this process now. Oh, it nearly died. There we go. Max rank. Ta-da! This is definitely more interesting to do than going over to ESO and hoping to be carried leveling the gun. Yeah, so I do need to apply another former, because this one is going to be very hungry. There we are. Okay, so this gives me 16 capacity. I can put on 60-60 mods at this point, so let's give that a try. Go 60-60 blast, but I would want to remove heated charge then. I mean, I don't have to. It'd probably be better to, but... yeah, let's that, do this, swap around. What else can I fit? Worthwhile. I suppose if I'm going to try a blast approach, I'm probably going to be looking at a expel mod, but then that doesn't work in like more than a half of content at the moment. At least more than half of high level content. Of course. I'll use that, because reload speed can also help us here. There we are. Not as strong as a faction mod for the job, but it'll do the job. How do you go from rank 0 to rank max rank in like 5 kills? So the reason that works there, Efficient Vash, is a couple things going on. First of all, I have got both an Affinity Blessing and Affinity Booster, so that's a 2.5 times multiplier. Second of all, the enemies are unalerted to the point that it's considered stealth kills. Again, maximum stealth modifier, that is a 6 times multiplier to affinity gain. And yeah, this is non-steel path. If you go steel path, it takes more damage to kill them, which with a weapon you're leveling is going to be more effort than it's worth, because the affinity doesn't go that much higher for steel path. Not for Eximus. So it's 6 times from being stealthy, 2.5 times from the booster and blessing. That together is a 15 times bonus, and Eximus are a big source of affinity in general. So effectively there, I killed 5 Eximus for the price or reward of 75 Eximus. Now think about how many Eximus you killed during a run of Sanctuary Onslaught, and you start to get in mind just why it's so effective. We are stacking numbers to the 9s there. You could, I suppose, use a companion to have a chance to make it go higher as well. That's the Smeeta, but it's just not necessary. It's just not necessary at that point. So, with this silly little gun as it's currently set up, bearing in mind it has still got Hornet Strike on there, which I can absolutely remove for something else in a moment. I just kind of want to see how this operates. Let's just take in Circuitous and just see what happens with it right now.
The art of combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas of war.
Okay. Oi, God, one thing I hate about this mission is every time I try testing a weapon here, they steal it from me. Fucking every time! Use a different attack! Nope. I can't even dodge it. And again. I mean, we should have killed him by now, but I suppose I have got no stacks on the gun at the moment, so that's going to happen. And I'm never going to get any stacks if they keep on stealing the gun. This doesn't bode very well. I just killed him with a Burston, which means I didn't even get a stack on the secondary there. So I don't want to use Lavos boost right now just to try and make the weapon do something more. I want to see what I can get from it so far here. I know this blast approach is a little bit on the gimmicky side, but like, if even that doesn't work... I'm seeing individual bits of damage to butchers. My mind does not accept that level of mediocrity. Okay, more work needed on this. Let's at least apply Valence Formation, see if I can get some more from it that way. So this is now with 150% blast rather than 50%. Good lord, okay. You know what, let's switch that to corrosive. Switch it to gas. I'm leaving the mission. So I'd say watching this lead into Heat Cascadia Flare. That might be an idea, yeah. Might be an idea. But first, let's think about potential damage output here. Let's take out the Hornet Strike. Let's switch this to Cascadia Flare. Let's drop the Frostbite. Move this back out of the way. We've got Prime Heater Charge onto here. And whatever goes into this one. You know, let's be extra generous. Let's be extra generous and say that Galvanized Shot works fully. Never use levels. Can they change elements? Yeah, Valence Formation Augment. It allows you to apply a hell of a lot of an element to all of your weapons with guaranteed procs in every single hit. It's very good. It is very good. So looking at these numbers here, it's got 105 base, but when this turns on, they'll be adding 480% to it, additive with nothing currently on screen here. And then we've also got the fact that our multi-shot will jump up from currently 2.7 to actually 3.9. Have I tried NFA yet? No, I have not. So let's run this through here. 105.3, divide it by the current multi-shot, multiply it by the maximum multi-shot, multiply it by 5.8. Let's get us our output pre-crits. Our crits are going to be 1 plus 0.78 times 4.8. And then assuming this comes online of its own accord, and assuming we get 3 procs out of it, that'll be 120, 360% bonus, so times again 4.6. Assuming that is how it works. I'm being generous here before I test it. this would give us per shot, including multi-shot, of 19,000 average. If I then multiply it by the fire rate, comes up to 308,000. So if everything maxes out, the direct damage will be in the ballpark of 308,000, and the radial, an extra 50% on top of that, it's about 450,000. But that's assuming the galvanized shot multiplies of all of it. Somehow I doubt that's going to happen. So the top end theory, generous theory, shows it could go somewhere nice, but let's see how this actually functions. So I'm going to put these two mods on. That has a simple, easy way for us to test galvanized shot and Hornet Strike together. Are they additive or not? And let us go test that. This should be set up to not attack. It is. Good. Gungo doesn't work on the weapon. I'm going to verify exactly on that. It's easier than trusting some page that might be incorrect.
You are a true hunter. Where would the sanctuary be without you?
Also, Ryan, cheers. See, a moment ago we had from Kelton the request for that. There you are. Okie dokie then. So let's grab an not that. Let's grab ourselves an Xmas Trooper. And then a bunch of not buffers, butchers. Level 2. There we are. I have 3 factions working for you. Not sure what you mean by that, Fish and Vash. I don't think anyone has any factions working for them. Okay, 172, 450, Arcane Velocity, what am I getting here? Chance to gain increased fire rate. Okay, so that's been with extra fire rate this whole time. Oh dear. It's 50 or 172, let's make that larger. Yeah, 3 core syndicates out of 6 being positive is optimal, efficient. Just optimal that way. Yeah, 50 or 172 verified. Okay, so now if I just go boop, boop, 57, 193. 193 is going to be the easy one to look at against. 193 from 172 is a 12.2% damage increase. Yeah, that looks to be additive to me. So just verifying that. 40 divided by 320 is 12.5%, so yeah. That's additive. Oh well. Now the other part of the test would be the explosion of it. $154 on a non-crit, 523 on the crit. I'll use the crit because it will give us a clearer number. 523 on the crit. $523 on the crit. Unaffected. So yeah, Galvanized Shot is absolutely abysmal for this. It's additive to pure damage on the attack outwards and completely non-functional on the return of the attack. Which is really weird because there is a very clear travel time there. So this is yet another projectile weapon that does not play Bonnie with the projectile weapon rule. God damn it. Alright, that's fine. So yeah, Galvanized Shot is an absolute no bueno, which massively brings down the maximum damage potential of this weapon. So we can go with Magnetic Might for reasons, I suppose, but mostly the critical damage and magnetic combo. It's just not going to interfere with the heat, but is an extra damage bonus against Overguard and shields, which makes up for heat being a bonus against armor, I suppose. It just complements it here. Running with this then. Not assuming headshots for the moment. 124.7. Divide that by the multi-shot. Multiply by max multi-shot. And then we've got fire rate. Currently says 12.8. How much should I have? Open it down to 11.2. You know what? I'm just going to calculate that properly. So, riot, fire rate by default is 8. I have a net 40% bonus here, and you can easily get 60% from companions. That'd be a 100% bonus, so it should be a 16. I don't know why it's saying 12.8. That's just stupid. Efficient, it's not impossible to have all 6 factions positive to you. In fact, some people have got them to all 5s on those standings, if I recall correctly. But it is ridiculous to try and keep it there. It's just a point of, haha, look at me, you do amazing stuff. But it's not even that amazing. It's just kind of playing the system. In terms of having 3 or 4 factions, you could do 3 or 4. It's not a problem. The only downside is, if you are running a 4-faction setup, you kind of have to miss out on some of the benefits of having a 4-faction setup versus a 3-faction. Because someone's going to be upset with someone at that point. Whereas with a 3-faction setup, none of the 3 interfere in any way whatsoever. So yeah, you can do a 4-faction setup, but it's not really ideal. Okay, so where was I on this? Yeah, 124.7. Divide it by the base multi-shot with modding. Multiply it by the fully stacked multi-shot. Multiply it by the damage bonus we get over here, so that would be 5.8. Multiply it by the expected fire rate of 16 with my full setup. We're including the companion for this for the moment. So that is multi-shot damage, fire rate, and elements all included. Need to include then crits. 1 plus 0.78 times 4.5. Is that it? What stat am I missing? Because that can't be it. That's accounted for, that's accounted for, not relevant right now, counted for, counted for, counted for. Okay, so with this particular setup, granted Pistol Elementalist is not helping on the direct damage here, with this particular setup, we're looking at a body shot DPS of 75,000. And then the radial attack comes in, and the radial attack should give us again 50%, 150% of that. So 75, 150, about 180-ish thousand per second. And the AoE is so low that we can consider it pretty much single target. But we also mag dump in a second and take most of a second to reload. So our actual output is going to be half that. And in misses, yeah, straight up half that. That's not great. That is not great, and there is no one mod I can put over this that magically fixes a lot of that.
Sup, Engineer, how's it going, man? Hope all is good, much love, less than 3.
Hello, hello, Hellgamer. Thank you very much for resubscribing there. Up on a tier 3 sub, no less. Hellgamer, thank you very much for that. We've about 9 months in total. Hope you're doing well. Cheers indeed. Look at this here. I'm only using... no, I'm using 3 elementals. I've got Magnetic Bite, Primed Heated Charge, and Scorch together. So I could theoretically swap out Magnetic Bite and Scorch to make this a viral heat setup. But I'm not sure that really achieves anything of significance other than, I guess, bumping up the status a little bit in exchange for critical damage, lose the magnetic, gain the viral. I just... Or I can drop the Pistol Elementalist, and then I can keep the magnetic and go for the viral heat. That would work, yeah. I could do... drop that, drop this... into that. Oh. What would I recommend primary or secondary weapon that can work with any Warframe? Incarnants. Not even a brief answer there, that is the answer. Incarnate weapons are the most recommended weapons if you just want, I don't care about the loadout, give me power. Incarnate weapons are the top end. So this still has the heat to trigger Cascadia Flare. The heat is 21% per shot, so that's going to trigger quite a bit of it. But like, how much are we going to get out of this? If I grab just good old bunch of in fact no, I'm not even going to start there. Elite Lancers. We don't need a crazy unit. There's a basic but armoured unit. No Lavos buffs, but we have got a companion buff, crit damage and fire rate. And I think I have an arcane buff as well for fire rate, so lots of fire rate. I'm going to turn off the damage numbers just so it's easy to see what's going on here. I'll turn these down. But and yeah, we can see those bullets fake reloading themselves as we get a few shots in. And I know why that exists. That's going to be engine limitations. They don't want a bajillion projectiles lying around ready to explode. But by the same token, it kind of undermines the visual of the weapon. I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here. Cascadia Flare stacks up pretty nicely. It's now at full stack, but I feel like this is a weapon I'd need to buff to the 9s to make it work. And if I'm buffing it to the 9s, why not just do something else? Like, a Warframe arsenal doesn't have to stop at the first weapon you pick up. If I give this a heat infusion... I mean, even then it doesn't feel good. Flare synergy? What synergy are you seeing there, Ryan? I can't answer your question if I don't have an idea of what the question is, sorry. Would Blast do something? It would, nothing good. There's simply not the damage behind this for this to be a good enough weapon for me to really care about. Even with the 4 former sunk into it. It's not like I've skipped out on the buffs there. I have tried to give it what I can give it, and there is nothing I can give it here. There just isn't. The AoE is tiny, the base damage is tiny, and the gimmick is very gimmick. Okay, Ryan. Why would you use this gun and see, like, using flare? There's some synergy with the flare and the weapon. I don't see what the synergy is supposed to be, but sure, I'll read up a moment here. Control F flare. Well, the wiki's got nothing for me. What is the synergy? If the synergy is flare can damage buff it, that's not synergy. So I can't really help on that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of flashing lights either. We've had them long enough. No unique trait for temple, flat crit he can work, similar level worse than any other weapon. Exactly, yeah. Is force synergy? What's the force synergy? I literally don't know what the forced synergy is. I'm sorry. Queen, you're referencing a synergy that I'm unaware of. I can't talk about it if it's not there. It's not the unique trait. It's not an arcane because that's literally every single secondary weapon. Insane heat buff to all weapons? That's not a synergy. So, okay. I take it there is not in fact a synergy. Until someone can come at me otherwise with it. Mirlabe's asking if you need a secondary with unlimited ammo, it's okay weapon? No. Because there are other things you can do. There are other weapons with infinite ammo, including the functionally infinite ammo of Incarnans. So just no. No. It's mastery fodder. It has a gimmick, and even the gimmick isn't that great. The gimmick is an explosion on reload that doesn't even wait for you to reload because of multi-shot. It kind of takes away the gimmick, in my opinion. Yeah. Alright. Someone suggested we have a look at the melee. Alright then, the melee being... I've lost my list. God damn it. Here we are. The jolt this is. That was it. Okay then, jolt this is. Walk me through. Unique trait. On gas status effect, gain movement speed and attack speed for 10 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Okay, question number 1. Does that stack do anything good for itself? Because 10 seconds is a very short amount of time. So is it a independent stack, is it a decaying stack, or is it a shared stack? Or a refreshing stack, I should say. Second question, how much does the weapon try to make this happen in the first place? We got 5.8 puncture, 5.8 slash, 17.4 gas. Okay, so if I just slap weeping wounds onto this, and then some attack speed, not attack speed, yeah, attack speed is fine. Just to get the initial test going, let's see how this works out for us. Before I get to leveling it and all that stuff, I just want to see how that functions.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
10 plinks for infinite ammo pistol? That would work, yep. Honestly, I feel like basically all of the secondary kick guns would be better than that riot weapon. Testing stanceless? Don't need to worry about stance right now. I just want to see what happens with the stack. That's all my focus on this first test. Okay, so I am seeing that it is refreshing the timer with all 5 stacks active at the moment. So let's step out of it. Do they all run out as one, or do we lose just one? All of them run out at once. Okay. Let's wait a few seconds, and then I'll get a couple more procs. That'll do. Okay. Looks like that is indeed a refreshing stack. Cool. It is a refreshing stack. So that means that every time you get a new trigger of it, it refreshes the timer on it, but it doesn't extend the timer. It's not like with primary and secondary dexterity or things like that, whereupon, wrong weapon, whereupon when one stack runs out, the rest is still there. It doesn't reset the timer, it just runs out after 10 seconds. So that is a limit on the benefit that it can give you. Stacks up to 5 times, that's up to 40% movement speed and 35% attack speed. I wouldn't really be relying on that there. Yo! I have no idea who you are because you are, in fact, anonymous here, but anonymous, thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs. That's gone out to John B, to Trixie Dust, to Thanatos, to WL Gummy Bear, to Loljack, to Crazed Lunatic, to Orochi, to Concept, to Bladrin, and the Turbo. Anonymous, thank you very much for that. Oh. Cheers. Refreshing is better than individual? Refreshing is better than an individual, yeah. There is a very clear tier system of how good stacks are, and they are in the middle tier of it. Right, I see. Queen, this whole time you've been using the word synergy to mean just a thing can buff it. I see. This explains why I couldn't find the synergy you're on about. It doesn't exist. So, let's see then. I forget which one of these I prefer to have on it. Where is my stance comparator? Stance comparator... Bloody hell. It's going to be deep in the sheets, isn't it? Come on. Stance is... Nope, not in that section. Okay, it's going to be in the older sheets. There it is, stance comparator. This is the dual sword category. In dual swords, I said crossing snakes has the best results and highest average multiplier on any combo. Cool. Thank you, past me. Crossing snakes it is. Free stack of Berserker isn't too bad for a unique trait. It's not terrible. It's just, it is locked to gas, but at least the weapon does come with innate gas to at least bring it out itself. There is that. It's a shame it's not a decaying stack though. The number of buffs we have that last for like 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 seconds... Do we really need to have the entire buff vanish after a few seconds? Is that really necessary? Is it so overpowered to just have the buff? When you consider that other weapons are like, hey, have you got it equipped? Cool, here's 20% particle velocity. You understand why it's influenced? Balancing around a imbalanced arcane is not balance. Straight up not. Besides, what would melee influence do with this? It goes, hey, you can have more procs. So, unless you're using melee influence to get the procs quickly enough to make this always on, it's not always on. Is what I'm getting there. That doesn't sound right. I would be very concerned if DE were balancing unique traits on melee weapons or anywhere else by going, but someone might equip melee influence and then keep the procs up. So let's make sure that anyone who's not using melee influence has a harder time. You see where I'm coming from there? That just doesn't make sense. Very lame, cheers. Alright then, so we're not going to want Prime Fury on there, that's for certain. Quickening is certainly an option though, still to just kind of get the combo up and to have some base attack speed in there. As much as this gives some attack speed, this gives more. So, might still be leaning towards that in any case. It's got crit stats that we can try to work with here. That 3.3 down to 2.1 is as a result of the companion giving a 1.2 flat bonus. But still, it just feels like it's worthwhile leaning into it. Get some critage going that way. What is the range on this? 2.4 meters. 5.4, that's a bit better. Considering we've already got innate gas, we want gas, and gas isn't buffed by elements, I wonder if skipping the elements might be an idea here. Use galvanized efficiency. Galvanized reflex because heavy attack efficiency. Okay, yeah. You can go that route if you want. Could this weapon get to a 100% crit chance? Easily. Blood Rush. Blood Rush will give you a 4.4 times bonus, and it starts at 23, so we're already well over 100% there. Easily. Let's think then. Yeah, it's going to be Elementalist for the status damage if we're running a focus on gas procs. It's going to give us even more status chance to go alongside the Weeping Wound, so that's just nice. Out of capacity at that point there, but the other two would be some additional bonus on that side of things. I currently don't have pure damage on here. That would be problematic to run without. So for the meantime, let's actually take out the quick. For the meantime, let's take out the quickening. There we go. So just to give it a try, to start with, let's see how that feels. I'm not currently set to Naramon, but it should be fine. So this is with the full attack speed bonus on from just the passive. I am bouncing between enemies here, so it's not going to be as effective. One of my concerns is that gas procs are limited to 10 procs. That might just be a problem. At least when the enemies aren't quite so concentrated. Because yeah, I hit the gas proc cap there, so I'm losing out on DPS as a result. And on stronger targets, that's going to matter. I think for that kind of a gameplay, we're going to want to have a high enemy density mission. So let's slam this into a standard Grineer survival and see what happens with it. Zob saying, fair warning, the positive context I saw for this melee was with influence, but it's still a place where it does something unique for influence, seeing some consider it more usually friendly Ichor. Of course, do try non-influence path first. Fair enough. Would the Gladiator mods be of some use to the crit bonus per combo? It might well be. It depends on how much bonus they give versus other options, but they could be a pickup here, yeah. Oh, I don't like this spawn room. Oh well. So I'm trying this first without, again, using Lavos buffs. I just want to see what the weapon does. And this is still unmodded. So modded this way, I do very quickly get to that full speed bonus. One of my concerns with the gas is that outside of influence, how often are we going to leave the gas where it's going to be useful? I suppose enemies running from behind it would affect. But we're not affecting enemies ahead of us. Except for the ones we are actively striking. I do want the utility of that there. I have got longer gas procs as a result of Lavos being Lavos, so that is making this slightly more effective. Let's see. Why was that guy so damaged?
Prepare for life support.
How much of this is gas? How much of this is slash? Because I'm landing quite a few slash box, I'm noticing. Hold on. I'm using... what was it? Crossing Snakes. If I just have a look for Crossing Snakes real quick. Crossing Snakes has a guaranteed 200% slash on the final hit of the neutral attack. So that could be part of that there. And just slash in general, potentially. I do feel like I'm getting a lot of slash blocks.
Delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Yeah, and considering this is a 0-element setup, those slash blocks are going to be quite effective. More than quite effective, actually. Gas proc, if I recall correctly, is 50% of base weapon damage per proc per second, whereas the slash blocks are only 35%, but they're not dealing with armor, so that'll make them 10 times stronger, because I've got no armor reduction here. I've got a little bit of armor reduction, so maybe 8 times stronger. 8 lots of 35, that is 280% to gas is 50%, so slash procs are going to be doing a lot of work here. Like, a lot of work here. Isn't it slash off the base full damage not proportionate to slash portion? Yes, I didn't say anything to counter that. Slash is 35% of base, gas is 50%, just like toxin is 50%, heat is 50%, electric is 50%, slash is the one that is reduced, and then blast does its own weird thing, and so does magnetic. So whilst slash does have that reduced element to it, 35% to 50%, so it's missing about a third of the damage. It then also bypasses armor, which fixes all the way back up, unless you've armor stripped enemies. Because if enemies resisting about a third of damage, then it's about equal. Anywhere more than a third resistance, and slash is favoured. Slash becomes unfavoured again when dealing with things like heat, toxin, and electric, gaining benefits from elemental mods. When they gain from the elemental mods, slash can't do that, slash again falls behind. Gas can't do that. At least not without balance formation. And I don't want to make this a Lavos buff soup again. Not even fully leveled. Alright. Let's make it a Lavos buff soup. Gas buff. That was an explosive barrel, that does not count. God, Xmas is resisting because the procs can't go above 10. I still don't understand why gas just stops at 10.
Another life support capsule is now available.
It's not like the radius increasing forever is a problem because they could just cap it. First 10 procs affect radius only. But instead gas just gets hard limited on the number of procs that can be applied, limiting where it can be used.
The raid is off to a successful start. Extraction is available if you
How are we doing? Rank 24, let's keep going. We got an acolyte incoming. Alright. Malice conveniently dying to the gas procs there, so that was nice. I think it was to the gas, or was I just swinging behind me a bunch? Hard to tell. does feel like Zom, as you're saying there, that about the only redeeming feature is haha Gaska Burr with influence. And that's not a redeeming feature to me. That is a consequence of influence just being strong. At that point, there are plenty of melees I could use more preferably that also can just use influence electric, or influence heat, or influence whatever you want to influence. If the only way that a melee weapon is good is with influence, it's not a good melee weapon. If the only way a gimmick is interesting is with influence, it's not an interesting gimmick. And I would argue that, from what I'm seeing, I don't expect it to even be interesting with influence there, just so much as haha, enemies are dying. Doesn't make the weapon better. What if I give this a different subsume? Let's just go for pure heat subsume. So that's going to be replacing a lot of the gas procs now with heat procs. Heat doesn't tick straight away, it does have to wait a second to tick, but then it applies its damage as it's wont. I can't say that feels any better, to be honest. So let's swap this to viral.
Critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
Brute force my way through the leech. I am probably going to run out of life support.
You are running out of time. Consider extraction.
Does attack speed stack on top of movement speed with this buff? I don't know what you're asking by stack on top of. They're two different kinds of buffs, Queen. Both happen at the same time, but they're different things. Well, at least the weapon's fully leveled. Yeah, let's get out of here. Now, this isn't a formed and fully set up weapon so far, so it has got room for more power. I'm just trying to see where that power is likely to come from. Hello, Unknown. Welcome on in.
You are running out of time. Consider extraction.
I'm extracting, don't you worry, Lotus. I have no intention of staying here. There we are.
It is done, Tenno.
Portfin suggesting at least influence allows you to use lower tier melees for their lux. On the one hand, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, you can use more stuff. On the other hand, when all of that stuff functions precisely the same, you're turning weapons, or rather, you're suggesting that D have turned weapons into skins. Pick your skin for the weapon. It'll all function the same. And that's... Not a bueno there. Okay, so this was the basic point we're working from there. We got prime reach, prime pressure point, we got some basic crit chance, crit damage. Granted, not a lot of crit damage. That is one area this can be worked on, and no arcane so far. So let's slap in an arcane. In terms of the arcane to pick, I feel like the only correct answer is going to be influence or duplicate, and duplicate is not that good. In terms of the crit chance, this has a base of 23%. We've got 4.4 from this, and 1.1 from that. So this has a crit chance of 149.5% standard. Need minor influence nerf for better alternatives. I don't know about influence nerf necessarily, but the other arcanes do just kind of suck. Melee afflictions is very, very niche. Where that niche comes up, yay, but otherwise, melee animosity. I did not mean to equip it, that was an accidental double click. On melee hit, gain crit chance for your next heavy attack up to 420%. That's just not it. When you consider that crit chance from Blood Rush is 440%, when you consider you can get these kinds of heavy attack crit bonuses from other sources as well, it's just not that great. To still be missing out on everything else you could be getting buffed for. You want the music off? I'm not going to turn the music off, Petra, and EDM is also not coming back. So I'm going to check to refund you the points on that, because that's just not a choice I'm going to facilitate. I don't want the music off. It feels empty and weird. Melee Crescendo. Great if you're already going to get a bunch of finishers, terrible otherwise. Melee Doughty, if you want to make your weapon suck by having a whole bunch of puncture status on it. Melee Duplicates is a very niche crit zone where it applies. Melee Exposure will wash out your status application to give you a bunch of corrosive. Melee Fortification has independent stacks for some reason, rather than capping the arcane or just letting people go wild with it. Melee Influence is the one everyone's laughing at for just how powerful it is. Melee Retaliation. First of all, who wants that many shields? Second, it's current shields. So now you want to have loads of shields, but also don't use them. Yeah. But yeah, the music is quite in the background unknown. If you're on a TV or mobile phone, you probably won't hear it if you don't have headphones. It is supposed to be quiet, so it doesn't wash out for those who can hear it. Kill an enemy affected by magnetic status for a chance to pull in enemies within a radius. It's a slow pull as well. Yeah. Melee Fortification, you got to 80 stacks once. I mean, it's great to get to 80 stacks once. So that is what? 16,000 armor temporarily? Cool. And that's 16,000 armor for what, a second? Because 1 second later, those first 8 of 80 kills will now time out and you're losing 1,600 armor. So yeah. That is the big hamstring on Fortification, is not only is armor in, I wouldn't say a bad position, but not an impressive position. You're trading out a damaging arcane for a defensive one, and that defensive one goes, please kill faster. So yeah. Exactly, Puffin, yeah. Yeah, you can use Retaliation on Stynax Revenant because they have layers defense that can go over their shields, but then you will still be spending time buffing your shields and choosing this arcane to gain a, if I recall, additive with pure damage bonus. And 30% per 200 shields, ignoring over shields for the moment here. You would need, what is that? 14 stacks, that's 2,800 shields. That's a lot of shields. 2,800 shields is a lot of shields. Yeah. Not a great one. Hildred all day. The thing is that Hildred will bounce up and down on her shield total. Also, Hildred doesn't really strike me as the kind of frame that wants to be meleeing, but I suppose you can. So it's an arcane for 1.5 frames. Yeah. 'Cause Dumb question from Cortado. Their words, not mine. What's better for status weapons, viral heat or viral electric? Yes, is the answer. Viral heat is a go-to standard because it can reduce armor and the heat procs will stack up indefinitely. The longer you're on a single target, the more damage you're dealing. Electric, on the other hand, has a small AoE to it and also hits immediately rather than waiting a second on it like with heat. So if you're against a large number of weaker targets, viral electric. If you're against a smaller number of stronger targets, viral heat. If the enemies don't have most of their health in, well, health, if their hit points are in shields, you might not want to have viral there. Yeah, I've gone over these a million times, the arcanes, and ultimately there's just so many niche options, and then there's melee influence. And it's really the way it shakes up for me every single time. There are so many niche options, and then there's influence. Melee afflictions requires you to have worthwhile status effects on the enemy in the first place. They will gain the extra stacks when they're knocked down or flung by melee attacks, which is itself a bit of a limit. Crescendo is just on finishes and just for initial combo. That is limited. Even more so now that we have pseudo-exalteds not using our melees. It's just... too many times over it feels like the arcane is trying to be too niche. And then melee influence is very, very far from niche because it's like, did you do any electric proc? Cool. Every element goes everywhere. It's wild. Even if it was just electric goes everywhere, it would still be powerful. But it's the fact that it's every elemental status proc. It's insanely good. So yeah, I think about the only reason that Vicious is going to be worthy of notes is with an influence approach here, if I'm quite honest. Alright, as much as Mirrorblade did give us a ginormous bundle of Omniformer, Blood Rush is always Blood Rush, and that's always a V polarity, so we can just slap that one on here. And then... to be honest, I don't think I need to try and keep using the gas as much as it is here. It's not that big of a deal to mod around, and if it's not that big of a deal to mod around, then... it ends up just being another set of swords. Am I missing something there? If we go, okay, the unique trait is cool and all, but the gas is innate, the status will happen, so let's just use the weapon as itself, just as a weapon. I can't search dual swords. I don't even know if this is the right category for it. Arokina Prime dual swords? I can't even remember. Nope, they're dual daggers. God damn it. To the wiki. Crossy 6 works on dual Ichor I'm not going to count because they're an incarnate, they're just that much stronger. Let's see. Dual Keris Prime. Let's compare against them. Let's compare against that. There it is. Okay, so Dual Viscis versus Dual Keris Prime. Slower, but it gains back the attack speed, so bit of a wash. Slightly lower range. Damage does increase significantly. Crits are down. Status a bit up. Are these the correct stats? 3.8 on Dual Carrier's Prime? Is that correct? No, that's not correct. But then neither is 3.3 on Dual Visits. Both of that's being affected by Companion. It's actually 2.6 and 2.1. Goddamn Companions affecting things. Alright, yeah. So, Dual Visits has worse crits, but better status, better base damage. The attack speed technically should end up better if you're not using any other attack speed bonuses. And the range is kind of nothing, it's 10 centimeters, who cares? Yeah, no, that's just... Yeah. It is basically just Dual Carrier's Prime with gas fluence. Because if you don't go for gas fluence, sure the status is a little bit higher, but the crits being that much lower, the damage output is going to be that much worse. For single target, Dual Carriers has that built-in, what's that, 2/3 slash? No, not quite 2/3 slash. No, it's a little bit under 2/3, but it's over 50% slash. So, point is, Dual Carriers has a lot of slash behind it. Great for armored single targets. It's got more crit. Better for getting through damage attenuation, where it's crit vulnerable as well. But yeah. Also, what does Dual Carriers have its own feature? Not a feature that matters. Fair enough. This is called unique trait. I don't call this cool. It's a little stat buff that runs out after 10 seconds of not triggering said buff. That's not a cool unique trait, I'm sorry. It's just not. If you like it, you're welcome to like it. There's plenty of things I consider cool that lots of people go, no it's not. Like Warframe. A lot of people seem to disagree on that. They're not watching this channel right now. But, it doesn't matter if I throw more Former into this. It's still just going to end up going gas fluence. And that's just not enough for me. 35% attack speed, does it stack with Volt multiplicatively? I don't see any reason it should, unless Volt stacks multiplicatively with normal speed bonuses. It's not something I'm going to measure, because that's going to be a pain to measure. So no, this is literally just another set of swords, but they also fart. That's what it is. It's another set of swords that fart. I'm not going to invest any further into that. I'm just not. I could, honest to God, equip the Dual Carrier's Prime, run a mission with that, and unless you looked to see the blade swinging around or paid attention to the name of the weapon in the bottom right, you wouldn't notice. If I equipped a skin to this, you basically wouldn't notice. That's why I'm getting there. So, let's see, what's next then in the pile? We've done the Riots, done the Dual Visits. Let's go for the one in the middle there, the EF-V8 Mars. Is that a primary? Nope. It's a secondary, right? There we go. The standard issue personal Fervon projector as supported by all ranks of Skuldra. Well, that gives me a lot to work with. Let's see what we got then. Unique trait. Alternate fire charges up a glob of explosive Fervon gel which staggers and corrodes enemies. Okay. It has... Oh, I'm going to just de-equip my companion. I really hate these arsenal bugs. 6.5 fire rate, magazine 15, ammo max 210, so we got plenty of ammo, that is good. Reload 1.7, stings a bit, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Although we do empty in just a couple seconds at base. What does that mean, forced impact? Don't know where you were seeing that, but forced impact means guaranteed to land impact proc outside of status chance. 27% crit chance, so it's pretty decent. 2.1 crit damage, which is okay. Status 17 is meh. Does the stagger mean forced impact? I don't know that it means forced impact because it says staggers. You can stagger without forced impact. If it turns out that means forced impact, then thank you, DE, for being clear as ever, but until I've physically gone and tested, I don't know. I'm reading the same text box you are right now, Molten. Charge Shot has, again, the same crit stats, but the status doubles, and it's got Corrosive, and Radial Attack is, again, doing these bits and pieces. That's going to be the old fire. Okay. You wonder if it'll trigger the Impact to Slash mod? I'll be honest with you, the Impact to Slash mod has had its heyday. They were more useful back when Slash Viral was basically the way to kill anything with armor, unless you wanted to spend time armor stripping. Those days are gone. And so the Impact to Slash mods have lost a lot of their value. A hell of a lot. So I'm looking at the stats here, and I've not got high hopes, if I'm very honest. Judging by these stats, I take it the charge shot is the alternate fire. Let's take that down to the sim real quick, but...
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Jupiter's Corrosive AX, same MR as Fenmore? Okay, that's damning. No, DE. DE, no. 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 So we're charging longer than it takes to reload. Or maybe as long as it takes to reload. It feels, yeah, it feels about the same as a reload. To then have a travel time, heavily arcing projectile. Can it hit the ceiling? Oh dear god, it managed to arc without hitting the ceiling there. Wow. I mean, if I do it straight up, it should hit the ceiling. Yeah. Although I saw it slow down. Hold on, here? Oh, okay. So, here. Oh, okay. If there was just a little bit more headroom, I think the shot would actually come back down again. That's insane. So if I aim just slightly across this way. Bit further. There it is. Yep. That angle there, that's near vertical. Wow, okay. Wow. And all that for a 3-meter radius. of a 313 damage radial attack. So what's the mastery on this? Mastery 12 versus mastery... Oh, where is it? Mastery 14. That's my comparison here. Mastery 12 to Mastery 14. We're going back to Fulman for comparison. Fulman here has a 30% crit chance, 2.2 times critical damage, 22% status, 550 damage, firing twice a second-ish, and a much quicker reload. You get 8 shots out of it. Meanwhile, this weapon is offering you lower damage. Was it... I think that's lower crit damage, but the chance might be higher, and it's just... Fulman that can shoot down an entire corridor with a wide body projectile, and this thing can go... Oh dear. And if we're using the other mode, I mean, even on a lux basis, what is that? It's not even leaving a dent. Where's my kaboom? Huh? I'm supposed to get excited about this weapon, right? Could use this for the moment. Let's use that depolarity. Get that on there. Haven't added crits. Oops. Fuck, we got enough fire rate. Let's do it this way. Wrong gun. That was a good gun. God, no punch through. Alright. So let's turn off this bug, because you're right, I keep forgetting this bug exists. How does it look when we turn off that? What the fuck? Again, easy to access, simple prime weapon, just a shotgun. I'm not even going to check the modding. Where you can just kind of go blam, 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 blam. Oh, ran out of blam. One moment. Blam, 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 bam. Yeah, no. You get access to later before this? I mean, how much of an access do you get access before this? Let me see here. So the EFV8 Mars Requirements for acquisition is can get it from the Hex for standing for 30,000 total, requiring rank 5? Never mind, yeah, you get it before the Latum. Rank 5. Meanwhile, Latum, you can pick up all the blueprints for... Well, you pick up the blueprint for 3,000 standing. You also need a Void Plume Pinion, 5 quills, and you can get it at rank 0. Oh my god. Okay. Now you do need another Incarnon. Another 2 Incarnons to fully sort the Evos on it, but wow. Alright. I mean, I get it's 1999 tech. It's not supposed to beat modern tech, right? Which has been one of my questions all along, like, how are these 1999 enemies able to stand up against our Warframes? They should be absolutely flattened, so how does a Skulder Dedicant exist? I'm not about to turn this into a Dedicant rant stream, but just so you all know, that rant is there again. So, doing a quick stat comparison. EFE8, Mars versus Latum, just base stats. Accuracy goes from medium to very high. Fire rate does come down to about a third, and the reload is slightly higher. The crit stats are not quite so peachy, it's a bit of a wash there. Damage slightly more than doubles, so on base stats alone it is a bit of a wash. But that is just the base stats. That is just the base stats, and then you can do all that crazy bonkers stuff with the Latum, including having its Incarnon form, which I don't think the stats were actually showing there. Where is it? No, it's not even showing the Incarnon stats, because they're considered part of it Elshow, I guess. I don't know what that build is, I'm just going to delete it for a second. Well, forever. So, Incarnon form, the fire rate jumps up again, so now we're competing with again. You got AoE 300, 100, so that's 400 per shot, assuming single target, on top of the stats jumping up before Incarnons. It just completely wipes the floor of it. It just completely wipes the floor of it. Because, yeah, on the Latum Incarnon mode, it gets to 6.66 fire rate, something like that. And here on the Mars, we're at 6.5. Damage 75 versus Latum single target was looking at 400, though, unmodified. It's just not even close. It's just not even close. So let's say Jagara? Oh, I need to switch to EFA to do the proper comparison. Yeah, Actigara Prime is worse. Half damage, lower crits, double status, near enough. Lower fire rate, higher magazine. Let's compare against this. Okay, so Shakiners, which is a Rattle Guts, double fire rate, 1/3 the damage, better crits, worse status. But 4 times the magazine. So we have something that is in the ballpark of a bloody kit gun. and not one of the good ones. The Rattlegut secondary is not a good kick gun. It's not a strong kick gun. I've never really cared for it that much compared to the others. Tombfinger has more of a place. Catch Moon had its heyday. It's been nerfed multiple times over. Spore Lacer absolutely rocks. Vermisplicer can get work done. Gaze secondary can get some work done. I'm looking at basically the worst kit gun here. And I'm looking at the stats and I'm going, you know what? And don't forget, they can also fit the kick gun specific arcanes as well for extra oomph. You'd rather use the kick gun? I'd rather use the kick gun, to be honest. If nothing else, I'm not reloading every second. Because if you got a 6.5 fire rate on a 15 magazine base, you double that with Lethal Torrent and Reinforced Bond. That alone comes to 120%. Take off 20 with, is it Creeping Bullseye? Point is, you can double the fire rate, you're at 13. You're reloading every second, near enough. Versus on the Rattleguts here, you'd get 3 seconds of firing. EU region chat just had a massive influx of bots. Oh dear. Can't see right now, so I'll good luck to them. Yeah, that just doesn't look great. Do I want jackness or aggressive mediocrity for my next 1999 weapon? Oh dear. Sorry, I'm just kind of curious. Oh. It doesn't look to be overfilled with whatever's happening. Alright. Cool. So yeah, EFV8 bars, absolute dog water. I'll be quite honest with you, this is concerning for me because I was thinking, oh, you know what, maybe I could put together a quick video on these before the Isle Weaver update comes out. Just bash it out, talk about them quickly, don't expect them to be too amazing or anything, but just kind of a comfortable mid-tier, hey, at least it's kind of somewhere along the way. That's right, I've done the riot. We put 4 Former into it and went, okay, cool. It's pretty mid. Aggressively mid. Very mid. Below mid, actually. So, EFV5 Jupiter. First of all, I'm not a fan of the naming convention. Let's just call it the Jupiter. I get it's meant to be old 1999, military aesthetic, blah, blah, blah. Just call it the Jupiter at this point, please. So I'm just going to call it Jupiter. Alright. Unique trait. Alternate fire charges up a burst of buckshot. Each player always inflicts corrosion status on hit. Okay. And this time we have a charge time. Wow. They can actually put the numbers on some of the weapons. Sculptor weapons were really good for 2021. 2021, we already had the normal Fullman. So I'm not sure even 2021. Because normal Fullman came out 2019. Catch Moon was already in the game then. Ignis Wraith was already in the game then. With what you've seen so far, would you pick up an Ignis Wraith... Sorry, would you drop an Ignis Wraith or a Catch Moon from 2020, 2021 era to replace it with these? I wouldn't. 2021 was Year of the Zara and Envoy? Fair point, yeah. Full Moon was like 2016? No, it was 2019 because it came out with Wisp. But yeah, no, that was AoE Meta Year 2021, so absolutely not. These would not compete. I don't even want to put a primary adapter in right now. Let's start by just setting the vibe here. Let's see, this is an automatic rifle. So, Tenora, it's a machine gun Tenora. Probably not a good comparison, but Tenora, nearly double the fire rate. Yeah, a bit higher on the crits. Marginal loss in status, but a chunk down in the direct damage there. Okay, so we're looking like we're probably in Tenora kind of ballpark. That's not a good start. I'll be honest with you, that is not a good start to be in. X52, probably a good comparison actually. Someone did mention it's basically AX there. X52 has a little bit more fire rate, loses a third of the damage, crits get a buff, status goes down, but then has its unique trait, which doesn't show here. Ammo efficiency, no, it does show here. I can read it. Ammo efficiency when hip firing, higher crits when headshots, aiming for headshots. Okay. In exchange, we have a buckshot 5 to 10 meter fall off. So I could stand on one side of my office and only slightly damage someone on the other side? It's losing damage before I reach the end of melee range on some of my melees. Concern. Okay. So let's slap the basics into it. So we've got damage, multi-shot, crits. Let's go for delay. Let's go for vital sense. Let's put some basic fire rate into here. So that's damage, crits, multi-shot, fire rate, and let's slap some elements into it. Sorry, how often do I use Brand Cryo rounds these days? Let's slap that in. Okay. I don't have high hopes, but let's just see what it does. Again, I acknowledge that I haven't got this fully modded. I'd need to level it a couple of times over first. So I think what I'll do is I'll spawn in some Elite Lancers level 100 rather than 200. If it's level 100, right down the bottom end of Steel Path. Why does that have a charge time on it? Let's see, what's the range here? So that guy is 21 meters away. Ah, still hit him with 12 corrosive at that range. That uses 15 ammo for the buck. Ugh. It uses more ammo than the buck's got base projectiles? Oh, you are kidding me. I didn't compare those, but yeah, okay, let's have a look. Multi-shot, 11. So it's a buckshot where the damage just drops out the ass at a very short range. With a charge time on it to apply a whole bunch of corrosive procs. That is certainly a choice. Oh god, I hate screen shake so much. Alright. Let's try and be somewhat fair here. Slap Deadhead on it. And these are still level 100, not even 200. I've nerfed the testing round for this. Also, yes, I'm using green shards for total armor strip here. There we go. I've reached a kill shot. Sometimes. Oh, I suppose it's when I'm low ammo, isn't it? That's what that is. I think the corpse took a bunch of that hit. Am I supposed to be excited about any of these weapons? I get they're from 1999, but none of them excite me. The melee is good. The melee is not good. The melee is not good. The melee is another set of dual swords. I can just straight up use the dual Keris Prime and I'll get basically the same results out of it. You like the slug launcher because of its style and vibe? Well, that's a personal preference, I suppose. I can't tell you you're wrong about matters of taste. I can still look at it and go, yeah, nah, thanks, I'm good. It has innate gas? I see it has innate gas, yes. If the only way to make it a melee interesting is to put melee influence on it, it's not a good melee. Attack speed gimmick, it's 35%. It's not exactly game-breaking levels of interest. It's nothing particularly cool about it. And it has slower base attack speed than some other dual swords anyway, so it's kind of making up for what it's missing. You gotta remember, it's not just a melee weapon. It's a melee weapon at rank 5, the Hex Syndicate, having completed basically the entire storyline of quests, whereupon you have unlocked the Entrati Labs, you've completed the New War, you've got yourself things like the Nataruk, you've got yourself almost certainly access to the Zoris, you've got yourself access to the Grimoire, you've got yourself access to so much of the game by that point. And the result that you get is, here are some curved swords. They look mean, they have some gas in them. And even then, they still don't actually do much until you put melee influence into them. It's like, by the time you get to that tier of play, you could just be equipping incarnate weapons. You can be grabbing yourself Coda weapons. You can be grabbing yourself Kuva weapons and Tenet weapons. Like, is it better than basic market trash? Absolutely, yes. No question about it. Now, if I compare it to the stats on Broken War here, actually, Broken War's got 35% crit chance. Lower status, lots of slash, quite a bit lower base damage, mind you. Higher follow through. That is absolutely terrible comparison. Let's see here. Come here. If I compare it to the Mark 1 bow, no, but seriously. What even would be a quote-unquote fair comparison? I don't think there is one. I think it's just too far into the game for something that is basically going, here's some more stats. Are they good stats? Whoa. We didn't say good, we just said more. Dual Icor Incarnon? That's an unfair comparison because every single person here already knows they're just going to be better because they're an Incarnon. Granted, for the Dual Icor Incarnon, you do need to have unlocked Steel Path. And to unlock Steel Path, you need to have completed every node before reaching the new war. So you can have the Dual Icor Incarnon before you have even killed Ballas. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I mean, technically we didn't kill Ballas. Lotus did, but yeah. And even if you do look at the dual versus, you go, yeah, Ken, I hear what you're saying, but they're still fun to use. Are they? Are these specifically the bit that's fun to use? When I look at a melee weapon like this, if I'm imagining a game where I'm using a weapon like this, I'm imagining digging into enemies, rending them through. I'm thinking these are weapons of gore. I'm thinking of tearing into enemies or cleaving through them like I'm reaping a field of wheat. This is the kind of thing that it feels like Necros will go, hell yes, that is my vibe. Gas aside. This is the love child of Necros and Saren right here. And instead, it's dual swords that act like dual swords, and you put on melee influence because then you can just kill things all around you. Let's do red or Scoundrel Green. I don't know if we have a Scoundrel Green, but let me try a green no one's asked for before. That's not very green, but you know what? I pressed it now, so there you go. It's still dual swords. Dual Zora are in the same category? You kidding me? These are in the same category. Hey guys, what do you like? What do you think about my new Dual Viscous skin? Oh god, the screen. People play melee with screen shake on. Please tell me there's no one here who plays melee with screen shake on. What is that? It's like the camera is shivering. And yeah, Zoran does that. Once per jump. You have a screen shake on for recoil? Sure, but for melee? Whee. So yeah, the dual Zoran is in the same category as the dual Visis. Visis Vivisect. Now granted, damage, the dual Visis comes well above the dual Zoran there, well above. The dual Visis does have a lower attack speed, so its passive perk of, hey, attack speed is actually just trying to make up for it. 10 centimeters more range. Worse crits, significantly worse crits, mind you. Oh, how does that shake out with, say, Blood Rush and Galvanized Steel? So, 30% times 1 plus Blood Rush 4.4, Galvanized Steel would be 1.1. That's 195% crit chance for a full combo on Dual Zoran, and 3.2 multiplied by the crit damage will be 120%, so it'll be 2.2, 704. So 1 plus 1.95 times 6.04. It comes out to an average crit multiplier on the Dual Zoran there of 12.778. Let me store that number. As for the Dual Visis here, 23 times again, a 1 plus 4.4 plus 1.1. 149.5% crit chance. 1.495 multiplied by, and be 2.1 times 2.2. Oop. Hold on. 2.2 minus 1. There we go. Comes out to an average of 6.49. Which means that the crit multiplier is straight up double. Yeah, the average critical multiplier of the Dual Zoran is double that of the Dual Visis here. So that 255 damage is actually a bit of a cheat, because you get functionally 280 in comparison to Dual Zoran when you take into account just how much stronger the crit's going to be hitting. Its attack speed 1.25 to Dual Visis, not quite 1.35 because of the additive effect. I'm looking at Dual Zoran Prime here. And then Dual Zoran Prime is also bringing out basically nothing but Slash. Which, upside or downside depending on how you're playing it. So they're actually a lot closer than the numbers at first glance seem there. And so your entire trade-off is, do you want gas for gas fluence? Or do you want Slash and Zoran Coptering? And the Zoran Coptering completely beats out the movement speed you'll get from Dual Visis, I'll be honest. Yikes! Yeah. Now, granted, Dual Zoran Prime is a whole Prime-ass weapon, isn't it? So, what's his mastery? 13. This one's 14. So, MR13 with no quest requirement, just get the parts together. Or MR14 and complete pretty much all story quests and get to rank 5 and then build it with its own standing requirements. To then only work impressively if you have melee influence. Yeah. No. Dual Vistas isn't that good. It's not terrible. It's just, for the amount of work required, this is the best we have, and it's basically a stat buff and reskin. And this is the best of the pack. I haven't looked at the Purgator. So, Purgator. Put them down so that they stay down with a Skuldra Slug Launcher. Unique trait. Enemies killed by direct hits explode into lingering gas clouds. For how much damage, please? For how much damage? Am I going to have to test this? No. Okay, so I'm going to ask the wiki, because someone else is going to have tested it, and to be quite honest, I just want to at least have half an idea as to what I'm looking at, what it scales off. Just give me a starting point here. Leave behind one gas status effect stack. What do you mean it? And it must be killed directly from the weapon, not from status effects. Lovely. But gas leaves itself behind anyway. So is that... So it just force procs gas on a dead enemy? Is that what that means? This is a force proc gas on death. Okay. I mean, that's lingering gas cloud singular, then. Fire rate 1.5, magazine 9, ammo max 20, ammo from pickup 2. That's less ammo than the Lieutenant Envoy gets. Hold the line. I don't even need to search for it, it's right there. Yeah, Lieutenant Envoy is max 16, pickup 4. This is max 20, pickup 2. Yikes. This is a sniper? No sniper scope, not a sniper. Let me just shoot the weapon a second, come on. Fair enough, I see why you say sniper now. That is a series of choices. Okay. So, Deadhead, Hellfire, with the amount of ammo we've got, maybe we just want to be going for really precise shots. So, what if we got Acuity in here? Deadhead. Let's get some critical damage going. Vital Sense. Hell, bladed rounds might be a smart idea if we're going to be aiming in this hard. Gas Shack with horrible accuracy? It says very high accuracy, 0 deviation. I'm not sure what you're seeing there. The gas cloud, I would imagine, would be affected by status damage, but do we even care about that? Cannonade? Let's have a look here. It means that we cannot modify the fire rate. Honestly, not a bad shout either. Give us damage. Puncher is already there. Actually, do we want that? Do we want that? Because it's going to be additive to this. And giving us a punch through that we kind of already have. More than 1.1 punch through, you rarely get to properly benefit from, I'll be honest with you. Unless you can literally see through walls to know where you're shooting, sight to 9, it is very rare to benefit from more than 1 punch through. Target acquired might apply here. Target acquired, interesting. Yeah. Not a sniper. But it is a sniper. But it's not a sniper. So it's a launcher, but it's not a launcher. Oh boy, this is a fun one, T. What have you done? What have you done? I don't want to put elements onto it because I want the gas clouds to actually matter, but I feel like without the elements, we're just not going to get the hit. Yeah, let's just slap on some heat. Why not? Actually, no, we don't want heat, because if it dies to the heat, then it doesn't count. Oh, shoot, yeah, I didn't think I put on multi-shot, didn't I? My bad, my bad, my bad. Off it comes. Sorry, my bad. There we go. Oopsies. I've already got a bunch of the crit damage on there, so I don't think hammer shot's going to be the way. We should be getting enough crits from that this kind of thing is going to be pointless, but... sorry, I don't want to put enough brain in right now. That's not even that much scope, to be honest. It's got travel time? He staggered out of the gas cloud. He genuinely staggered out of the gas cloud. They both staggered out of the gas cloud. I can't fix that. There is nothing I can do to make that good. Nothing I can do to make that good if they just leave the gas cloud. Oh boy. At least I am able to kill with this as yet unformed setup, so it's got that going for it. There we go. So let's put this to the more fair testing level. I need to turn off that screen shake. I really need to, but not yet. This might be the most interesting one so far, I'll be honest with you. This might be the most interesting weapon so far. It's weird. Very, very weird. And I am deeply concerned about the ammo choice there. Ammo from pickup 2 is insane for a single target sans gas cloud weapon. And now I realize you could be using a Shaka? Yeah. Let's see here. Now the Kuva Shaka has 260 to 70, from 781 down to 260, but 260 times 1.6 because of the Progenitor's bonus, 416. 781 over 416. It's still nearly half, or just over half. Status up, but then there's the guaranteed proc of gas on the Purgator. The crit chance goes up, but not the crit damage, curiously enough. Magazine stats, so much more ammo from pickup. 15 up from 2. That's insanely different. Reload is worse, granted. Punch through is just nil. And then has a radiant attack, which actually picks up the rest of the damage, if you think about it. Yeah, there's your extra. Don't forget extra headshot damage bonus on Shaka. Extra headshot damage bonus? Oh yeah. Huh. I've completely forgot that existed. My bad. Shows how long it's been since I used the Shaka. Well, there you are. Even stronger again. Which, to an extent, makes sense, because it is a Kuva weapon. You have to go through the whole Kuva process to get it. But at the same time, then, the Purgatory is still locked behind rank 5 with a Syndicate at the end of the story. Current end of story. Let's go level that one up. I've skipped over leveling a couple of weapons because, I'll be honest, I've been losing my mind with just how mediocre they are. But yeah. I should be able to just take it as is, straight down into the plains to do this. You'd argue this is hard to get the Kuva weapons. I'd say it's longer to get. I don't know if I'd say harder, because you'll be wanting to rank up the Syndicate for other reasons as well. Whereas, for a Kuva weapon, when you farm a Kuva weapon, you only farm that Kuva weapon. It's still on the same series of quests to get the whole process going, and then it's just one weapon at a time. God, the screen shake. Nope, that's coming off now. That is coming right off.
Now, a massive sentient energy spike in your area. I advise you to be careful.
Alright, let's do this. It is so much easier to spot these at night. However, those headshots are going to be much more interesting to attempt. How did that one even miss? Oh god, ammo might end up being a problem. I can't see through all this mist everywhere. That's where I wanted to be. 1, 2, 3. Get this to 500%? I missed. No, I didn't miss. I just didn't do enough damage. God damn. Oh, he's hidden from me, you little bastard. Wait. There you are. Got it. One, 2, 3. Don't care about the animal. Reinforce it. One, 2, 3. I don't know where the headshot is on this. There we go, found the headshot. We done? We done. Okay. Jesus say you can quite easily get a well-rolled Kuva weapon in one day, compared to multiple days, if not weeks to get these. Whilst I get where you're coming from, I still think it's an unfair comparison. Because, yes, you could get a well-rolled Kuva weapon in one day. Versus, with these, from the same starting point, you've got then all the quests out the way, loads of unlocked areas, which you're going to be doing anyway because you want to get to those areas. You're going to want to be ranking up the Syndicate, you want to be farming the bounties, you want to be getting the other bits and pieces there. And it is just standing, is my understanding, to purchase the bits at the end there. They are far more passive. Don't forget as well that when it comes to Kuva Liches, when you're starting out, you need to get hold of all of the Requiem mods, and that in itself is one hell of a process. If you don't buy them, and if we're going to talk about buying, you could just buy the gun. So if you don't buy them, you need to get the relics, crack the relics, get the mods, And once you finally have a collection, then you can take down your Lich. That's not a small process to get started. Not at all. Alright, let's start polarizing this. Yeah, Cubeliches just have a lot of prep, a big old barrier to entry to getting started. It is a pain in the ass. Once you've got it, it's easy, it's nothing. Or if you're happy to spend the plat, again, it's easy, it's nothing. Kind of, but still. Hoping there's good results for Vergator. It's seeming like it's going to be better than it is with the other weapon so far. Alright, let's pop on over here. Is that moving? I could have sworn I saw that one move. And it shouldn't be moving because I'm high enough up that that shouldn't be a problem. God knows where that first shot landed. Hello. Thank you. 2 million damage here. That's nice. Not this bloody rain. Xmas? I guess it's considered daytime at the moment, so no Xmas. Alright.
Hello. Late join.
Yo!
But how's it, Tino?
Yo! Yo, 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 yo! Moon, thank you very much for resubscribing there. Up onto 27 a month. Much appreciated. Ooh. Blink forwards. I think I'm too high over the top of it now. I can't see the... Yeah, he's right in there. God damn it. Ooh, just about got it in time to save my stealth bonus. And there's the next one. Thank you. Next one. There we go. Are we fully leveled? Not quite. Have I got myself turned around here? I think I took a wrong turn. It's actually really hard to see where I am with the map so covered like this. Damn, that is some bad long-range accuracy, yeah. Poor Finn, I take it all back. You're absolutely right. The accuracy on this is weird. It's not inaccurate, but it is missing where I don't see a reason it should be. When does Twitch Warframe extension update? It should have updated, so I guess it's having a moment, which is Twitch in a nutshell, unfortunately. Weapon is this? Purgator. It should update more than that, Mythic. But again, this is Twitch on about. Things break. Alright, let's put some more behind this. Let's just put crit delay on for when I'm not hitting a headshot, I guess. At least for leveling purposes. Whilst I'm at it. Sod it. Oh, that was too far away. Over here. Please? Please? Thank you. Okay, let's go through on this one. Boop. Thank you. Where's that angle? There it is. That's not an Xmas. Where's my Xmas? Damn it, I've been shortchanged on this one. The reason I'm cloaking here is because there is a missile turret that likes to spot me here. Again, we've not got an Xmas spawn. Been shortchanged twice. There we go, at least this one's here. Oh, I did it too soon. I lost the self bonus. No! Damn it. Alright, let's clean up these, get my self bonus back. I can't get a stealth off of them because they should be active. Although... Nope, that counted. Alright then. Xmas here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Then we go over to this area. 1, 2, 3. Need a little bit more. I think there's an Xmas that spawns over this way. Not seeing him. Let's just maintain stealth. Check up over this way. There's a group. There's our Xmas. 1, 2, 3. And we're good. Alright. Couple extra encampments, but we're fine. Let's just take out these as I go, because I can. Screw them two in particular. And straight through the open door. Yeah, so the cloak is there so that nothing can see us even by chance, and nothing can target us, and nothing can break the stealth. That's the whole plan behind it. Okay, let's see. Where are we on the form ring there? This one has a polarity on the Excellent slot, so that's something of note. Okay, yeah, so I do want another former on this, don't I? But how do I actually want to mod this now? How do I want to actually mod this, given what we've experienced there? I think, honestly, not far off from what we're looking at the moment, to be quite honest. I could go for Rifle Elementalist to give us the status damage. Those gas procs that come out of it should be buffed by it, theoretically. Or I can go for the status duration, as Agi is pointing out, get the status uptime going. Not a bad shout. This is going to take more former still, isn't it? Well, I can cheat that slightly. There we go. There we go. And that can go there. Galvaniscope. I suppose, yeah, I can swap those around. Is that enough for Galvaniscope? I don't know if I'll keep the uptime on it enough for it to work, but okay, well, it's arguing on fitting it because I'm still going to run into issues of mod capacity here. Guess I'll just have to level it again. Ain't nothing else for it. I did form earlier, yeah. Pop out of there. Keybinds for the win. Get above the height of the pillar. Really? 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 That was a lot of non-hits. Something about that angle does not like hitting. Next. 1, 2, 3. That's not an Xmas unit. Oh well. Anyone gonna take a hit? Thank you. They are all moving. Shit. This might not work. Wanna try? I think that one heard the shot. I'm not gonna hit a moving target at this range, not with that kind of a weapon. Fuck it, we move along. Oh, my stealth bonus is gone as well. Shoot. I don't even see a Xmas in this one. Again, what is that miss rate? There we go. One more target. Don't see them. Nope, so move on. One, 2, 3. There we go, 25. No Xmas in sight. Tell me I'm high enough up for this one. Yes, I am. 28. Might get that just killing these. Or I can run out of ammo. That can happen. 2 ammo pickup. Nope. 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 Fuck. No drops on this stream. If you're looking for the pride drops, you'll need a gayer channel than this one, apparently. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that's how that works. Not seeing an Xmas over there. Is there an exposed Xmas over at this one? I don't even have enough shots to get the stealth bonus up properly. I'm going to leave and redo. It's just an extra level. Won't take a moment. Didn't even know there's a drop campaign? Yeah, so there are drops running at very specific times over the course of June on very specific channels. How any of that was decided? Dunno. Straight up dunno. This is the same as last year where Pride rolls around, D goes, hey, Pride drops! Happening on these channels. Oh, shit, what? It's news to me entirely. Can't do anything with this yet because I didn't finish leveling it. Off we go. There we go. And that's 30. I'll just go now. New. What's the deal with the Necromech spawn at the start? It keeps the door open, because otherwise you'll come up to the door and then you wait for it to go through its opening animation. Alright, so let's slap on one of these. This is the most expensive Purgator. Do not do this at home. Yeah, nothing of value here. Alright. Let's go pop this one into a mission, shall we? Can the bike also do it? I don't know, possibly. Haven't tried. Alrighty then. Let's go lure. Why not? How bad can it be? Pretty bad.
These foes deserve your respect. Honor them with quick deaths.
Vigilante supply for ammo mutation? Shouldn't need it. Unless I miss. Well, there goes my gun. There goes my other gun. Can you swing a little bit less? What the fuck is this? How am I supposed to hit? Bruh, sit. Okay, so I will use levels for that because my god, what was I supposed to do with that? Let's be real now. What was I supposed to do with that? So I'll let the cold bonus vanish and then we'll get back to purgatoring. And right, we good.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
Hey guys, headshot. Missed. Yeah, this could stand to be, you know, more than one proc to affect a wider area. But we still get a guaranteed gas cloud, I suppose. Because the gas cloud is based on, you know, normal damage stat rules, I haven't equipped my companion. Oops, that's bad. I'm going to dip out and go get my companion, because I'm going to need the ammo vacuum. But yeah, with the headshots, it should get maximum value from the gas procs. Valid's travel time, though. Come on. Of all the things it didn't need at that point. So let's set this to crit and fire rate enhancement. There we are. Might as well equip ammo mutation as well. I want to see how well it performs without the ammo mutation. We equip that if it's a problem.
Accept your death, and you may yet avoid it. Trust in your training.
Ah, I missed a headshot. How is this so hard to hit? I might waste all my ammo trying to do this. There we go. Okay, so now I've used up half of all of my ammo. Not even kidding.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge it from this place.
Would Primary
Stand
Crux be
by
best for
for
ammo
most
efficiency? We'd lose a lot of damage that way, though. So we'd lose the headshot bonus, and we would lose the deadhead straight damage bonus. There we go. Okay, so if I put gas clouds in both of these doorways... I'm struggling to lay another one, they're dying so quickly. Here we go. Alright then. So if you want to get timed out for being AFK... This is also buffed up by Lavos' duration, but Lavos... is only on a 55%. They've got 2.5 times longer gas procs than normal. That's, what, 15-second gas procs? Now, if you had a max duration Lavos, yeah, you could take this even longer. Let's just go pick up some spoils. Yoink. Back we go into spot. I've also somehow managed to get a very, very nice spawn for this. Missed too many shots there. Ah, there we go. Nice 5mm headshot. Don't mind if I do. Makes up for the misses. There's your punch through. Definitely need to land the headshots for this to be full value here. Go grab some life support. Yoink. Not a lot of life support, I will admit. Oh god, no, not you. Don't know how I didn't hit this guy. Well, he just walked into the gas field for me. That was very nice of him. We've seen enough of my aim in my recent video, so I'm glad this is at least somewhat working. Ryan, I'm not sure what you're asking there, sorry. God, I missed so many of those shots. If they animate in some weird way, I miss a headshot. But if I can land it... Oh. Got it. We're doing okay on kills. Nothing amazing, but for a kind of gimmick, this is alright. High violence. Bye, violence. Hi, I would like my gun back. Thank you.
Oculists, if they scan you, sentient fighters won't be far behind.
There we go. Got the zone set up again.
The sentient is onto you. Look out for troopers.
Don't worry, Lotus. I'm sure the troopers will be no problem at all. Oh, hi there. Can you be headshot? You know what? I might need to kill you through collateral. Oh god, they're spinning lasers. Oops. My bad. Didn't pay attention to my health there. I hate enemies with ambiguous headshots. There we go.
The longer you hold out, the deeper I can search. But if you need
Yep,
to
dodge that.
extraction is ready. Void manifestations.
Get rid of you.
Cursed place of stolen lives.
Gotta reload.
They will
Shit.
drain your life support unless they are destroyed.
Reload. So far the ammo hasn't been an issue. But granted, that's because I am camping the hell out of an area and getting full value from the gas procs, which is, it seems to be what the gun is aiming for. Very much screw you, camper corridor. Also, life support does not like that interlude of sentience and then Thrax. I missed every single shot there. And I'm not getting life support. That is a concern. Oh, they split up now. AoE doesn't work when they move out of the AoE. Yeah, Thrax do eat away at life support. I don't remember how much they eat away at it, but they do eat away, which is why you have to focus them down. But even then, this is feeling bad for life support right now. I don't know why I'm firing, they're clearly dying. Never mind, they've stopped clearly dying. Stop moving so weirdly. Ah, I do not keep up with those animations, even after all this time. It's like aim punch in reverse. They get punched and I can't aim. This life support's not going to make it, is it? I'm doing what I can here for the kill rate, but it's not going to make it. The enemies aren't piling in fast enough. Nothing over here. Nope, nothing over here. Also doesn't help that the marker just doesn't show itself until you're right on top of it sometimes. Are we sure this is Steel Path? This is Steel Path, yeah. This is just very heavily modded. Life support is about to run out. Got a few more seconds reprieve. I'm not even going to try aiming for him. If he dies whilst I'm aiming at someone else, all the better, but... yeah, I'm just not maintaining enough of a kill rate. It's a shame, really. It does feel quite effective. I feel like this is about as ideal a farming location as it would get. Give me that back. Is there a life support over here? There, that's time. Alright. 867 kills in 9 minutes 36. that shouldn't be that bad, actually. 836 kills should be enough for about... Yeah, it should maintain for 8.5 minutes, so we'd be about a minute out. Which should only be about 40-ish% of life support, so I got a bit unlucky there. I got a little bit unlucky there. Not great. Please don't teleport me back, Malice. Please don't. Actually, do you want to teleport to me again? Go on, do it. Bet. Hey, bitch. Don't you have a weird summoning animation as well? There we are. All of that mission, I've not fully leveled the Purgator either. Yikes. You'd recommend Cuba Fortress Survival for a good testing ground? Why?
So you conquer yourself.
I know that some other creators go there, but still, why? This is a mission that has more going on to deal with, in terms of you've got the Sentients coming in and the Thrax coming in. It puts additional pressure on the life support because of the Thrax spawns, and it's just higher level. Also tight spaces. I mean, I had choke points there. It's a valid mission to go to, but it is not a strictly better mission, so it's just another choice. And in terms of level, this is level 180 to 200 versus Overrun Cuba Fortress. What do we got there? It is 132 to 137. So it is much lower level there. Much lower level. So yeah. Ultimately, it's still a fair comparison. If you look at something that's working on Circulus, it could work on Cuba Survival. If it could work on Cuba Survival, it could work on Circulus. The difference between them is your other objectives around the survival side. So when it comes to Cuba Fortress, you need to also protect the life support pods. So when you turn them into Cuba Harvesters. If you don't give some kind of protection to that, either you have god tier clearance, or they're gonna shoot it down. They are. Plus, to be honest, I find the Cuba Fortress one just boring as sin. I will be quite honest. It is boring as sin to me. But that's its own separate issue. So, Purgator, you demonstrated the capability to actually hit things, kill things, and somehow kept ammo going without using Lavos' abilities there. So, I will give it credit. This one actually showed some value. That unique trait was doing something. The unique trait was doing something. So question is then, if I do a less camp mission, where does it land in terms of effectiveness then? In fact, let's put it to a very thematic test, and let's go for Tekrot Exterminate. How does it handle there?
These are worthy foes. Underestimate them at your peril.
Flap. So, I think that's a headshot there. Good! Alright, yeah, I could just, you know, use that as a bit of a kill box moment, give myself a moment to breathe. It died as I shot, that's a waste of a shot, unfortunately. This does feel like you want to take a more methodical approach to be able to land those headshots in useful locations. Assuming I land a headshot. What even is this? There we go. For that methodical approach, you're going to want to have a very tanky passive tank. So like Lavos here can just kind of wade into things, or you're going to want to go with Invis so that you just don't get targeted and can take the time to shoot properly. If you don't have that available to you, that's going to be much more of a struggle. Yeah, it looks like I can just kind of set up a gas cloud, a nice strong one somewhere, and then just kind of let the enemies blunder into it. And they deal with themselves then, unless they do whatever that was. Blunder in! Blunder in! Plenty of room for everyone. And I'm gonna need to wash this frame when I get back. Ugh.
Yo! Supply cache clocked you. A further on charge.
Oh, the supply cache. Okay, how far away is this one? Oh, not far at all. It's actually right here. That's convenient. Sometimes it's like 700 meters away. Okay, well, guess we're just running for the next moment or two. One plugged in. Where's the other one going to be? Oh! For once, that wasn't painful. Huzzah!
Techrod's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook.
And yeah, it looks like, as standard for this kind of thing, if you can take the opportunity to control them, like with cold procs, use it. I'm gonna do a cold dash here. Freeze them all up a bit, and flap. One thing I will note is that the gas procs from this can't scale, because if it takes 2 shots to kill an enemy, you don't get 2 gas procs. If it takes 10 shots to kill, you don't get 10 procs. You always are only going to get 1 proc from this. So that is definitely a consideration. That was a 15 million damage hit. That was a nice consideration. Sake. There we are.
Bet it smells better in all.
Yeah, I'm kind of creating camp scenarios again rather than wading through the enemies. If you're in a group situation, there's no way you're going to be able to pull this off. No way. People are just going to be distracting the enemies, shooting the enemies, doing too much to them. You would need to be very good at aiming, I'd say, to be able to pull this off in a group setting. But for solo play, especially solo invis play, you may be able to do some good stuff with it. I once again fired at something that was walking from a death cloud. Didn't expect it to run up to get to me. What is that even? Bro. Where's the head? Where's the head? There. That's his ass. Can't use that. That should do the trick. Surely that's enough of a gas cloud to kill everything here. Yeah. Do these not leave gas clouds? Yeah, they do, yeah. Just very small. A Varapogta could do that. Just make sure you do silence the weapon, because I don't think this one is natively silent. 16 mil damage hit again. Honestly, out of all of them, I think I'm fair in saying at this point that it is just the Purgator that is of particular interest. And finding some way to cold block enemies to utilize that, or just control them outright, yes. Wonder how well this will do against Eidolons? I don't imagine well. It depends on what bonuses will work against the Eidolons, but certainly the gas proc is going to be completely wasted. It's kind of this weapon's gimmick, so... How large is one proc gas cloud? 3-meter radius. It's not big. How are you alive? Never mind. It just walked into the gas cloud. As did that one. I could just walk away a bit. Is it a double giveaway today? Because the power outages? It is indeed. Exclamation mark raffle. Well, I think you already saw that raffle command, yeah. Because we couldn't do the plat giveaway on Wednesday due to power company absolutely losing control of power for us. Not a fun evening. We're doing double today. Was it trying to guide me? Where are those enemies? Oh, hang on, hang on. Something's weird with this. Hang out. Nope. This way, there we go. It's finally figured it out. I'm just watching all of my bonuses run out whilst I do this. That should be enough to just set up a kill zone there. Ah yes, I left a trail of cold rocks. They're not going to leave that area anytime soon. That should have... What the hell is... Oh, there you are. I am disastrously low on ammo at this point. Never mind, found a bit more. Still low. And that did not help. That was 3 of my 8 shots that I had there. Stop. One shot's the Arctic Xmas bubble, so that's nice. $15 mil damage. And we're good. Alright. Yeah, I feel like I've had to be very methodical here. We're at a 9-minute mission, so this is not a fast weapon. It is absolutely not going to win awards for speed, because if you try to be too quick without being good at aiming, you're going to run out of ammo. And even if you are quick and good at aiming, the enemies just aren't going to run into the gas clouds in time. It is very much a methodical weapon. So, not made for group play, I'd say. Just started playing the game, damn it's confusing. There is a lot going on in Warframe, yes. There is a lot going on. Yo, Radika, you've been saving up quietly on that one, haven't you? Would you? Look at that. Oh. 150,000 channel points. We've had a string of recent VIPs, haven't we? I might need to raise the price again. Radika. Boom. VIP. There you go. Welcome to the club. Alright, we've had a ganders at every single one of those now. Riot 848, terrible. EFV 8 bars, terrible. EFV 5 Jupiter, terrible. Dual Visus, Gasfluence. I'll be quite honest, that's the answer, Gasfluence. And Purgator 1, actually somewhat interesting, but very solo. If you're not solo, I don't see how you're going to get the value out of the weapon. It's just one of those. Not a good spread of them, I'll be quite honest. But hey, at least we've had the opportunity to look into that more properly. I think it's about time we do a black giveaway. I feel my eye really angry with this. Something happened over the weekend. It is trying to swell up. Anyway, let's do a platinum giveaway. We've got a double ticket giveaway today. So exclamation mark ticket in the chat for a chance to win that. We'll be doing that draw in just a moment here. Absolutely. 2 people will be winners today. Not 1, but 2 to make up for Wednesday. So definitely make sure you grab your ticket for the chance to win that 75 plat. What is my thought on the Purgator's limited ammo reserve? Insanity, to be quite honest. It's definitely something that forces you to really slow down. Like, really slow down. How's the new monitor? Doing absolutely great. I've got the new monitor on this side, so chat, you are on the new monitor. My old monitor is currently for Warframe. It is also very good that I got this new monitor, because it means I'm now... Well, I've already ordered another one to arrive tomorrow to replace the other monitor that I didn't think was broken. I didn't think this other monitor was broken. It turns out both of my old monitors have developed a separate fault. They've both developed the same separate fault that I just didn't notice happening. Let me just open this up real quick. Let me switch the screen around. Oh, well, that's gone wrong. Why did that go so wrong? Okay. Let's try that again. There we are. Now it's working. This here is an image that on its own is just 2 colored sections. On the right is white. If you see this color right here as anything other than white, I am sorry to let you know that things have gone very wrong for you. Or maybe you have Flux installed, I don't know. But this here is actual true and proper white. And this lilac color over here, this is how much I had to tint the white on my brand new monitor to make it look like the white on the old monitor. After I had done the balancing on that, I was aghast at what I was looking at. I got my housemate. I was like, can I just borrow your eyes for a moment? Sat them down at the computer whilst I had the image split across the divide. And I asked, do those 2 whites look about the same if I balance the color temperature correctly? They went, yeah, you've about balanced that. Looks right. I said, cool. And then I moved the image across. He went, what the fuck? That's how out of whack it is. So, apologies if there's been any weird orange hues that shouldn't exist on any thumbnails. I've been compensating for lilac without knowing it. I don't know how long. I don't know when this must have started happening, but I've checked it's not a cable issue. I've checked between multiple different cables and setups. I'm glad I've got a brand new screen, and I've already spent the money to get the other one in. As I say, it will arrive tomorrow. Should arrive tomorrow. But goddamn. It's a pretty lilac? It is a pretty lilac, yes. It is a very soft and pleasant colour. But yes. We'll explain the purple hues on the face of the monitor? I don't think it's quite that visible with everything else going on, but sure. So yeah, that's a fun one. I also discovered the other day that my 2 old monitors were polarized perpendicular to each other. So I can get my polarized sunglasses, look at one screen, tilt my head left, it goes black. But the other one's fine. Tilt the other way, that one goes black, but now that one was fine. I don't know why 2 near identical monitors would have perpendicular polarities. They did. Nothing is ever simple for this. Nothing is simple in technology. It's all weird. I don't try to understand it. Anyway, enough rambling. I think it's about time we do the draw on that giveaway now. Let me find the section. Where is it at? Giveaways and close. Alright then, everyone with a chance to win it is now in it. Only one of you is... lies. Only 2 of you are going to be winners today. Not 1. It's normally 1, but today it's definitely 2. Let's have a look then. Our first winner, the Wednesday winner I suppose, is indeed Radika. Would you look at that? The bots are loving the badges today. Radika, congratulations, you are the first of our 2 winners today. I swear to God, if this draws a bot, I'm just going to have to run for the hills, aren't I? Draws of a mod. Anyway, draw another winner. The second is... I swear to God, this is not rigged. Umbrella. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, Radika and Umbrella have been chosen. Our latest VIP and one of our mods have won the giveaways today, which is absolutely fine. Even you're suspicious now? Well, I mean, Ellie, if you're so suspicious that you don't want to keep it, I can just re-roll. So what do you say, Ellie? Are you so suspicious that you think you shouldn't have won it? I could re-roll. You didn't say that? Alright, Ellie, I hear you. I'd say what are the chances, but I have the chances here in front of me, because 56 people entered. So clearly, if you want to make sure that mods can't win, you just need to claim tickets. Like, most people watching right now didn't claim, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on from that. Radika, Ellie, I will be contacting you shortly after the end of this stream. Get hold of your Warframe username, platform, and cross-save status. Acting like I don't really know them for you two, but it's fine. I'll double-check, make sure it's all up to date on that. Anyway, for now, I think it's about time we raid on over to another part of the Warframe community. Hopefully one who doesn't rig their giveaways to hand it out to VIPs and mods, because that is what it looks like here right now. Honest to God, what the hell? Let's see, who can we raid on into? God, it shows just how bright this screen is. When I switch to a blank tab and it's just white, I practically glow. Alright then. Let's see, who is live in the Warframe category? Not Dinos, they're on Elden Ring today. Let's have a look here. Oh great, the thumbnail for my stream is currently that lilac and white square. Alright then. Gonna need some stage makeup to compensate for that light glow. I don't even know what stage makeup is. Let's see, there is Gaz live. There's Barney Jack we can head on over to. There is... nope, that's about the names I noticed at the top there. Zion is also live. Yeah, let's go to Zion. How often do we get to raid on into Zion? Let's do that. For those of you who do not know Zion Zeta, they are another creator who covers Warframe and a variety of other things, and, well, the rest you'll find out along the way. I think that's good enough, actually. They don't need any introduction. They do a good job of introducing themselves. So let's set that raid up. We'll be going over to Zion Zeta in just a moment here. Thank you everyone for joining in, and I will be back on Wednesday. Wednesday, which is, of course, update day. See you for Isle Weaver. But until then, have a good week. Bye!